So I have some topics to cover to fill out this perfection thing. And one is, what are the kinds of things that we judge? And what are the things that we don't judge, criticize, or reject? So give some examples and we'll see if we can figure out what I see are the two areas that they break out into. Okay, of course we have judgments of ourselves, right? There's one. What else? What is it? Melody, what do we judge? What do we not judge?
By who it is, how relatively smart or dumb they are. I think that's what you're looking for.
Something
like that.
Judging people by how smart or dumb they are. That's one. Okay, good. I mean, we can get into kind of all the different specific things we judge and figure it out that way. I'm just trying to figure out what this judge is criticizing and rejecting and what it's not. Yes, Daniel.
How specific, because you said two things, I'm guessing ourselves and other people, but that's just but it could be anything really that we judge.
Yeah, we're judging people in politics. We're judging the political process.
And maybe what also the world, sometimes my mind can judge. I don't do it, but my judge can judge or get upset at things that are not specifically in anybody's control.
Like what?
Sometimes. Let's say the prices in my city are really expensive. It's number one most expensive in the world, and I don't think anybody in particular controls it. As far as I can tell, everybody got no idea how to change it. But sometimes
prices
the judge could get upset about it. Or maybe it's the victim judge.
Things in the economy. Okay.
For example.
Prices in the economy, yeah. Okay. Certain things we can get unhappy about and reject. Jonathan?
Things that make us afraid.
Things that make us afraid, that
make us afraid that we'll be judged. We judging other people.
Okay. Interactions with other people where we'll be judged.
Or like other people's behavior that instead of accepting them, like maybe there's judgment towards them because what they're doing actually scares us that we could be judged for that.
Yes. Okay. Good. Yeah. And that tends to loop around to like wanting to control or want it to be different, so then we're not afraid. Oh, if they were just this way, I would feel better. So we're looking for that other kind of perfect behavior in them that we're like, oh, then I would feel safe. So we're looking for, well, that would feel better. Why don't they do that? So that's generally kind of the routine of the layers in the story. But yes, other people's human behavior, treatment of us. Isla, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, we don't judge babies and animals.
Very much.
I think, yeah.
I mean, occasionally somebody say, well, that's an ugly baby, right? But
yeah.
but it's not like rejecting. It's just like, well, let's go out of it. It's like, no, but it's not a rejection. It's observation. But yeah, but excellent. We're not judging babies and we're not judging animals.
There is a website about animals being assholes. So we do some of that.
Okay. All right.
Just plain.
Okay. All right. Generally not though the animals, because we expect the animals to be animals, right? I was taking care of a dog once and I didn't get to the house in time to let it out and it pooped on the floor. And it's like I was late getting home from, and it's like, well, that's not really the dog's fault. That's on me. I'm judging myself. I'm owning it. Like the dog's the dog. Right?
people often judge my dog because she's very aggressive. Sometimes so playfully aggressive. She's not dangerous, but she jumps on people.
Okay. Okay.
I
Well,
I
then is that
notice.
okay? Go ahead.
But I'll say just I notice who we don't judge often, for me at least, kind people, heart like don't judge, and then if for me I notice my judge is most active these days when it perceives people are being not kind,
Okay.
and the vice versa, it won't judge.
All right. Good. Certain people, not judging certain people. But okay, let's shift the lens over to what do we not judge? Got animals, babies,
Kind people,
kind
usually.
people.
I'd argue you could judge kind people. Like, if they're too kind and like they're like a doormat maybe, or they're just like,
So annoyingly kind.
yeah,
We feel
I
bad
mean,
about
genuinely
ourselves.
kind people, guys. Genuinely kind people, not this the one
All
you're
right.
not
All right.
nice.
So now we're in the details of what's kind and what's not kind, but on a bigger picture, do we judge trees?
Yeah. I was going to say like trees, rocks, rivers, nature, unless sometimes we judge, I don't know if we judge tornadoes in that we feel victimized by them, but I don't think we consider them evil.
Are we expressing rejection? So I hate that tornado. You know, that tornado is too small. So disappointing. I was hoping for a bigger one, right? They were like,
no. So
oh,
nature in general.
I wish that. We judge clouds. Rain, snowfall. Oh, the snow.
The weather depends who you
So
ask.
ugly. What's that?
Some people do judge the weather.
I think there's a difference between not liking it and judging it. Like, oh, that's wrong. Versus, oh, it's too hot. I don't like it. You know, it's like, oh, what's wrong with this heat today? It's like, it shouldn't be like this. Or whether we don't like it. See a difference?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So does that fit? Does it fit? Would you agree it fits more with those things we don't like versus something being wrong?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely like nature, the weather stuff, definitely less judged or haven't really heard of that.
Sun, anybody judging the sun, sunshine, the moon, the stars? Okay. So here's the thing that I notice, I break it down. People and those things that are people made are the things that we express rejection about. Exception of babies. Babies are people made, but we don't judge them. We wait till like they're a year or two old before we start going, oh, they got a little temper, or they got a little better, right? You know, we wait till some domestication happens and then we find things wrong with them in our story. Okay. But those things, they're buildings are people made, and some people express rejection about a building and architecture, design, and paint color. The way something's built, the quality of the workmanship, people made. Those are the things we judge. Those things that are natural, we may not like it, but we don't generally express rejection for it. So this judge is kind of narrowed down, like, I'm going to focus on the people thing, myself and others, and that's what I'm going to have the narrative conversation story about. The narrative conversation story will have about, oh, the way I see it, that's wrong, and I'm going to compare it to some made up version in my mind of how they should be better or I should be better. There's my comparison. I have my judgment. It's the formula of the story, and that's the topic area. People stuff. Yes, Lisa.
So I just want to make sure that I'm making a clear distinction for myself. So with judgment, we're looking at that's good, that's bad, as opposed to, which is kind of an outward pointing thing versus I like or don't like it, which is more how it affects me.
I'm going to say a judgment in the way that I use it is generally an expression of rejection.
Okay.
Okay. An expression of rejection can be I don't like that tree. Okay. Okay. And then you can, then we can say, which is talking about how we feel about the tree. We're expressing a rejection, what we don't like. But then we may have reasons. I don't like it because it's too tall. I don't like it because it's too shady or not shady enough, or it brings too many bugs. Okay. We have justifications or explanations like why we're rejecting that expression rejection. Maybe it's practical, maybe it's not. But it's an expression of rejection. Now, and then there's the intensity, like, I don't like that tree. Or, yeah, I don't like the tree. Okay, how much emotion is in that rejection of what we're creating and generating in that story of rejection? And then we can say, oh, this is what's wrong with the tree. Like as if it's the tree's fault we don't like it.
Okay.
Oh,
So
I don't like myself because of my hair. It's too thin and always spikes up and gets oily. These are the things I don't like. It's my hair's fault I don't like it. Those are the justifications we put on. All right. And then we're like, who's responsible? Who's creating this feeling of dissatisfaction or rejection? It's like, oh, the tree's making me, it's kind of like we're headed towards that. The tree is making me feel terrible about it because it's the tree's fault. It's so ugly.
Okay, so the distinction is blame.
If we look at if we look at kind of an underlying layer of like, okay, we feel this way about a tree. What are we saying is responsible for this feeling?
Thank you.
The expression of rejection is there. At a certain point, we're like, well, why is it there? Is it the tree's fault that we're rejecting it? Oh, yeah, it's an ugly tree. Or we're like, no, the tree is an innocent tree. And this is my expression about it, consciously, unconsciously, program or not. Okay, so now we're getting like, are we going to take responsibility for our expression? So it's not about just judgment as an expression of rejection. And then it's like, why are we creating it? What's it sourced in? As we judge ourselves and we judge other humans, it's because we typically see, oh, there's something wrong, bad about them or us, as if our judgment and expression is valid. They don't meet this perfection, right? But with nature, we tend not to judge because there's not another, like we don't have other planets we can go to with different kinds of trees and stars and suns that we can compare it against. It's like we don't build virtual versions of clouds and compare this cloud against our imagined cloud and go, oh, my imagined clouds are so much better. These clouds suck. These trees suck. They're stupid. They're ugly. They don't know what they're doing. But we build imagined versions about humans for perfection and judge humans on it. But trees and clouds and natures and animals, no, we don't build alternate versions of perfection. Right? So our judgments of other people feel validated because they really shouldn't be that way. Like it's on them that we have the judgment. If they were this perfect, well, our judgment would go away. That's the solution. We'll stop rejecting them. We don't play that game, that image of perfection game with nature and animals. Pretty much the way I see it. Fair enough? Does this make sense? Yes, Anna.
When I think about the nature and the things we don't judge, animals, etc., there is total. I feel that there is total acceptance that it is what it is, and there is no notion of it should be different. It is. So we have this acceptance fully, without any kind of question mark about the nature and animals.
Exactly.
Yeah. Why don't we have that for people? I wonder. I mean, it's easy in that sense. Okay.
That's what I'm observing. Okay. We have this complete capacity to not make this virtual alternate perfection version about nature and animals and the universe. But humans, oh no, I got to build up a whole unconscious story about how they should be different and then judge them because they don't fit my imagined version. And I go, keeps my judge busy. Kind of interesting when you see like, oh, I got a different lens through the judge in which I look at myself and other people, but nature and the universe, judge is off duty. Doesn't apply there. Image of perfection doesn't apply there. We don't question the nature and perfection of the universe. The number of stars, the location of them, the grains of sand on the beach. We're totally accepting of all the rocks and the trees. Okay, the air, the birds. The number of ocean waves and how frequent they are. Right? People. Oh, nope, new program. We're going to put this kind of story on people. How they do their hair, you know, how stylish their clothes are, the color of their car at home, what they're eating. I mean, this is my observation.